Hey everybody, Hunter Dean here, Senior Vice President of Science and Marketing at ASEA. One of the things that we're asked a lot about is how do I simply talk about redox and redox signaling molecules? Redox can be somewhat difficult to try and explain, and so I want to give you four ways that you can choose. You don't have to know all of these. You don't have to be an expert to be able to talk about these, but four different ways that you could use to approach explaining redox in a way that's going to interest people and keep it simple. So the very first way of talking about redox signaling molecules is through the keywords. Through the last 2 years or so, we've used a series of keywords to talk about what redox signaling molecules are and how they work. So redox signaling molecules are tiny, high energy molecules. And because they're tiny, they can be absorbed directly into the cell. Once absorbed, they act like an on-off switch, turning on cell signaling. Once a cell is turned on, it begins to signal to the cells around it. Those cells signal to the cells around them, beginning what we call the cascade or domino effect. And it's this cascade or domino effect that contributes to our resilience to stress and overall wellness. That's one way that you could talk about redox signaling molecules. It's kind of a simple flow that happens really quickly through the keywords. And we found a lot of people really like to use this to talk about redox and redox signaling molecules in a simple and quick way. The second way to talk about redox and redox signaling molecules is through this concept of signals and signals between cells. Here on this image, we have circles that represent cells, and the lines between the circles represent the signals that are happening between cells. Again, cells do not have a brain. They don't get to decide what they're going to do. They simply act based on the signals or the stimulus that they receive. The signals that are used in the body to communicate between cells are redox signaling molecules. Redox signaling molecules serve as the signals to help cells communicate and therefore function. Now, as we age, as we're exposed to different forms of stress, as we become ill, we lose our ability, our cells lose their ability to signal and to communicate. And so you see the signals begin to break down. Traditional approaches in health and wellness has been to treat the side effects or the outcomes or consequences of this breakdown and to try and mask the symptoms. What is unique about redox signaling molecules is because they are the very signals that our cells use to function. When we supplement redox signaling molecules, we are capable of not only treating symptoms or addressing symptoms, but we're capable of restoring the communication breakdown that has caused those challenges. And so this is a very unique technology capable of addressing the source of many of the challenges people experience. So there's another way that you can talk about redox signaling molecules is this concept of they are the signals for your cells. And if your cells cannot signal, they cannot function. And that leads to a whole lot of symptoms. This is the only technology that's capable of addressing those challenges at the source. The third way that you could talk about redox signaling molecules and redox signaling technology is this concept of balance, or in the industry or in the science, we call it homeostasis, right? This concept of balance. Everybody's very familiar with wanting to achieve balance, whether that be emotionally, mentally, or physically. Our body is exposed to stressors thousands of times a day. And in order for it to maintain its health and wellness, it has to respond to stress to get back into balance. Your body uses redox signaling molecules to respond to stress and get back into balance. So I like to use this example of a man on a seesaw or a scale here. He's in the center, he's in balance. This is where we want to be to maintain health and wellness. Problem is we're exposed to stress thousands of times a day. Once we're exposed to stress, we're knocked off balance. What must we do then? We must respond to that stress and get back into balance. That response from the body is redox signaling molecules. Your body uses redox signaling molecules to communicate and respond to get back into balance. A good way of visualizing this is often a tire on a vehicle. Many of us have seen tires that are worn down unevenly. This comes from an unalignment or a misalignment or an imbalance of the tire. So let's imagine that I'm driving down the road and I hit a large rock with my vehicle, and that rock knocks my tire out of alignment or out of balance. If I drive immediately to have that tire corrected and rebalanced, I don't experience any additional wear. However, if I drive thousands of miles or thousands of kilometers on that unaligned, unbalanced tire, I begin to see a wear pattern like this, an acceleration of wear on my tire. My body is very similar. If my body is unable to correct for the stress and the misalignment or the imbalance that I'm experiencing quickly, then I begin to experience wear and tear on my body and on my cells. So being able to correct and get back into center and to achieve balance after being exposed to stress quickly is very similar in our bodies to being able to correct a tire misalignment or unbalanced tire very quickly. It helps our body to resist wear and tear. And this is done through redox signaling molecules. Our redox signaling molecules help to balance us after we're exposed to stress. So there's another way you could talk about it is through this concept of balance and alignment at the cellular level. The fourth method that I like to talk about is interesting because it really illustrates how redox technology is different than any other supplement or technology out there. Redox signaling molecules are 100% native to the body. They are bioidentical to what is made inside of our cells. And so the body knows exactly how to use them. And because these redox signaling molecules work at the cellular and the genetic level, they're capable of playing across many functions in the body. I like to think about health and wellness in the body as a beautiful musical piece. There are many notes, chords, melodies being played simultaneously to create a musical piece. Much like that, in our body, there are many different functions happening to maintain our health and wellness. And so traditional supplementation and traditional approaches to health and wellness for supplementation and health and wellness products has been to help your body play an individual key better than it could before. So your inflammatory response, there are some products that help with inflammatory response. There are products that help with cardiovascular health, other products that help with the immune system, products that help with gut health, hormone balance. There's a broad spectrum of actually amazing products that help with an individual key. However, our health and wellness is much more than an individual key. That key plays an important part in our overall health and wellness, but our overall health and wellness is much larger than just one key. It is an entire musical piece being played across the entire keyboard. What's unique about redox signaling molecules, again, because they play at the genetic and cellular level, they don't play just one key on the piano. They play across the entire keyboard. And so the fact that this redox signaling molecule technology plays upstream of everything else in the industry gives us a unique advantage and a unique ability to help many people with their desired challenges and their performance goals. And so there's another way you can consider explaining redox is this concept of a keyboard, and that redox is essential to being able to make sure that the entire musical piece or the entire overall health and wellness of our bodies is being positively influenced through this concept of redox. So those are a few ideas on how to talk about redox signaling molecules. Simply, you do not have to use all of these. And if you like one or the other, then I would recommend that you go with that one. Again, you do not have to be a redox expert to be able to talk about redox. These products are amazing, and they're capable of really doing the speaking for themselves. People will experience these products. These are powerful products that change people's lives. And so don't be afraid to try and take a simple approach to explaining redox, because the products will provide benefit to those you are sharing it with. And that combined with your simple message will be enough for them to really believe and begin to see the benefits of this product. So thank you so much.